Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is part 2 of replacing the weather stripping on the trunk lid of my 1968 Ford Mustang Coupe. I want to say this is one of the biggest jobs, believe it or not, that I've had to do on this car. I set out to do something and there was just ended up being so many different aspects. As you can see here, I am sanding, or it's actually not sanding. Oh, what is that thing? Get that. Oh, thank you. Anyway, taking the old weather stripping off. You saw in the original video how it was just crumbling and falling apart, and then I had to try and scrape it, and of course that scraped off a lot of paint, and then I had to sand or use an abrasive buffer there, and now I'm gonna have to clean it, prime it, paint it, then put the adhesive down, then put the weather stripping down. I mean, the amount of work that it takes just to replace the weather stripping on this thing, just ridiculous. To do it, I mean, I say to do it right. I mean, I could have done it a lot easier. I could have just thrown the weather stripping on top of the bare metal there and not sanded it, but I'm sorry. I may not do things perfectly, but I'm going to try to do things as best as I know how to do them. You know, I'm certainly going to take steps to cut corners here and there if I think they're not really necessary. But to me, this felt like all these steps were necessary to do this job at least decently. So anyway, I'm gonna put the video on fast forward here so you can watch it happen, and this video won't be like an hour and a half long. And we'll put on some nice music, and maybe I'll jump in here and do a little more commentary here and there and let you know what's going on. Slowing the video back down here in this section because I want to show you what that rust restore does to rust. You can see these black areas. That's areas where there was solid rust. It wasn't just surface rust. It's rust that's going through the metal. But you treat it with that product. And I'll show you a spot on the car that I treated 25 years ago. 25 years ago, that spot right there was treated with rust restore. Now, I didn't paint it. I didn't sand it. I didn't do anything on top of the rust restore or underneath the rust restore. I just put the rust restore on it, and that's how solid it's been for 25 years. So here I'm just showing you the prep all that I use to clean everything off. It gets rid of all grease, dust, oil, any contaminants that will be on the metal from sanding or from the atmosphere, whatever. It helps the adhesion for the primer that I'm going to put on first. and then the paint goes on top of the primer so that everything will stick. So the next step here obviously is to mask off the parts that we don't want to paint, and that's a pretty simple process. I think we're gonna skip ahead on this so we don't make the video way too long. So now we put the plastic over the entire thing. We cut it off around the tape that's already there, and that gives us the right size piece to cover the portions we don't want painted. And then we go ahead and tape that down to the other tape that we put on earlier. So the next step here is to apply the primer. Maybe even a couple of coats. You want to spray this with the can 6 to 8 inches away from the surface you're spraying, and you want to kind of mist it on. You don't want to get the head of the spray can too close to what you're working on, because then your paint builds up in one spot. You may get runs, and the paint won't adhere properly. So now we've got the primer on. We're going to go ahead and do a little buffing. This is the next day. We let the primer dry. We're going to buff it smooth. Make sure we've got a good surface. So this is a product I got from my local, I think it was Advance Auto Parts. They actually color matched the paint that was already on there. It wasn't exactly right, but you know, it's pretty darn close. I actually took the trunk lid over there and left it with them for a day so they could match the paint color. Once again, the same way you applied the primer, you want to put the paint on. You want to kind of mist it on. You want to put a one coat, wait 10, 15, 20 minutes, put another coat on. I think I ended up putting 3 coats in all, just to be safe. And you'll see at the end, after it's done for a day, here we go. See the close-ups there, how good it looks. Pretty nice. So we'll take the tape off.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So at this point, we're ready to put the gasket on itself. We're going to use the prep all again on the surface to make sure the adhesive will stick. And unfortunately, we lost a lot of the video of actually applying the gasket. So you're just going to see me taking the tape off at the end. Hey guys, I think it's time to take the tape off. So
Doesn't look like it is.
as you can see there, the paint is not coming off when I take the tape off. That is because of all of the prep work I did,
Looks like this has been a pretty good success.
doing it properly, using the prep all,
Tape's coming right off.
using the primer,
Not peeling the paint.
prepping it again, buffing the primer.
Looks like this is pretty solid.
All of
Not
those
going
things
anywhere.
have led to a very good adhesion for the paint as well as for the gasket itself.
I think that paint does a pretty good job. Especially cleaning it the way I did. Using that prep 2 or 3 times. Using the self-etching primer. Then sanding the self-etching primer. Or it's not quite sanding. You use a, I don't know, a buffing pad or something it's called. I forget what it's called. But use that on it, then clean it again. And put then I put the paint on.
So I hope you enjoyed this video of my 1968 Ford Mustang Coupe trunk lid gasket replace. That's all I was doing was replacing gasket. It probably took a total of 6 hours of work and a couple of weeks waiting on parts to come in, waiting on product, doing the prep, various other things. You can see some jobs on this car have been, you think they're going to be easy and they've been really time consuming, and other ones I've thought they were going to be really hard and they end up being really easy. Like, you'll see some interior videos later that I've been working on as well. Are so much easier than just replacing the gasket on the trunk lid. So I hope you drop me a like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, and if you would also leave a comment once in a while. Let me know what you think of the videos, what you think of the car, maybe what color you think I should paint it. I've got a really good idea, I think, for painting the car in the future. I think I'm going to reverse paint it. I've kind of made up that term, so I don't know if anyone has ever used it, but what I mean by that is these old cars had they had a paint color on most of the car, and then they had chrome bumpers and chrome highlights and chrome lettering and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to color the bumpers and the lettering that's normally chrome, and then I'm going to chrome the entire vehicle. I'm going to test it out first on this trunk lid. Once I get the other side smooth the way it needs to be, and then we're going to, if it works on that, then we're going to do the whole car just like that. Thanks again for watching my video, and we'll see you next time.